Hello everyone, and welcome to the second part of my Monograss Marathon. If you haven't seen the first video, I would highly recommend doing so, as I will be using it as a point of reference quite a lot in this one. You can check it out in the description or by clicking on this thingy in the corner over here. Cheers for that! If you can't be asked to do that, or just need a refresher, here's how this whole thing works. I'm playing every generation with only grass types and using each Pokemon only once. If they enter the Hall of Fame, I can never use them again. On top of that, I'm not allowed to use healing items in battle, I'm using set mode, and if it can be helped, I'm avoiding overleveling past the next boss trainer's strongest Pokemon. Sound good? Good! Much like with Gen 1, I'm choosing to play the remakes of Gen 2 over the originals, primarily for abilities and much better held items, providing me more strategic options in battle, which I'll absolutely need as I believe this will end up being the hardest leg of the whole challenge. As for which version I'm playing, thankfully it doesn't matter all too much this time around. But I'm electing to play Heart Gold for one very important reason. Going through the World Islands makes me want to kill myself. One more thing before we get into the meat and potatoes of this video. I'm being forced to make this bit. This is Casey. She's my best friend. Casey got very mad at me for not reminding you all to subscribe in the previous video. So if you enjoyed this video, or want to stop Casey from biting my ankles any further, please consider subscribing. It'd mean a lot if you did, and thank you for your time. Upon startup, I'm introduced to Professor Elm, the most unremarkable professor in the entire series whose hairline is actually a subtle reference to what Dutch elm disease did to his namesake. In order for me to run some errands for him, he hands me my starter. Yay! Its sprite is so stupid. Well, I looked this up yesterday, actually. It turns out Meganium is a lily? So I guess I'm naming it Lily. Hang on, I gotta fact check this. I then spend the next 10 minutes trying to fact check this. While its flower looks like the Stargazer Lily, the petals are way different. Its name seems to be a play on Geranium, which looks sorta like the same petals, but no Geranium genus has that coloration, and Mega Meganium does not help make it any clearer, and as far as I can tell, there's no official confirmation, but... Okay, you know what? I'm overthinking this. People think it's a lily. It's not a lily. If people think it's a lily, this is Lily. Once I put down the corkboard, I make my way to Mr. Pokemon's house. Knowing that I'm due for a rival fight pretty soon, I try and get a couple level ups on some wild Pokemon along the way. In a stunning act of foreshadowing, we lose immediately to a level 4 Pidgey. Oh, that's really funny. That's... Oh, this is gonna be so bad. Oh, I'm back here? I just lost $40 to a bird! This is as good a time as any to talk about Chikorita. Once fully evolved, its stats are almost identical to Venusaur's, with the exception of trading its special attack for more defense. Despite this, Meganium is widely regarded as the worst starter Pokemon in the entire series. A pure grass type that can't hit hard and leans heavily towards support doesn't exactly resonate with the most common way to play Pokemon for the first time, being to exclusively use your starter and blitz everything in your path with just that. There's also the topic of gym leaders. In Gen 1, Bulbasaur is absolutely the best option as it can crush the first gym single-handedly. How does Chikorita fare in that regard though? Oh, I'm in for it now, aren't I? I retry the trek to Mr. Pokemon's house, fighting the much weaker Pidgeys on Route 29 and immediately notice the upgrade Pokemon move pools got in Gen 4 compared to Gen 3, as Lily in just one level learns the best grass-type move that Charlotte ever got. Despite this, Lily still almost loses to another level 4 Pidgey, so clearly I have bigger problems to worry about in this game. Once I'm given the mysterious egg from Mr. Pokemon, Professor Elm tells me to hurry back to the lab as one of his starters has been stolen. I run into the thief in Cherry Grove, beating the piss out of his Cyndaquil before stealing his trainer card to learn his name. Given his red hair, I name him Rust. Once I get done knocking on him, I'm then given Pokeballs, and I have to go tell my mum that I'm leaving to become a full-fledged Pokemon trainer. She asks me if I want to save some of the money I gain on the journey with her, which I agree to for reasons we'll see later. I head to Violet City, avoiding as many trainers as I can along the way, as Lily is already a little too close to the level cap for my liking. The first gym is the Flying type gym, and given Lily's current record against Pidgeys, it's looking up to be a tough one to say the least. Luckily for me, I'm able to acquire not one, but 2 new Pokemon on Route 32 alone. First up is a Pokemon whom I have a little bit of an interesting history with in this challenge. Show me Hoppip. I like that one too. He's cool. Quite popular around these birds. Yeah, 7 a ball and 1 of you. That's what I thought. You know damn well we're naming it after the best plant that's ever been made. That's Nepenthes. While Bellsprout is undeniably a great asset to the team, there is not a moment to slow down as our third team member quickly makes its entrance. Yay! How does it go? Aw, this does spark joy. I know this thing has synthesis. I'm using poison powder. Yeah, okay. We are not gonna bother hitting it then. We're just gonna throw a ball. Boom. I was, yesterday old when I realized that the Hoppip line is just the growth cycle of a dandelion. So that's Dandy. Now, as much as I love Dandy, unfortunately she can't quite make the cut on this team. As of Generation 4, most Pokemon have 2 abilities they can have access to instead of 1, and this Hoppip has Leaf Guard, which blocks status effects while the sun is up. This ability is fine, but it pales in comparison to our good old friend Chlorophyll, meaning that I need to catch another Hoppip. Now, for brevity's sake, I was intending on just acting like the first one I caught had the right ability and would go on with my day. However, my min-maxing mindset resulted in an interesting little side effect. Wait, what? No way! Really? Are you serious? You are serious? That is unbelievable. What? I mean, I'll take it. The more unvirgined amongst you watching may be wondering, what the hell is going on? What are they popping off over? Well, one of the Pokemon I encountered had Pokerus. This may sound bad, but it's actually an incredible thing, as Pokerus doubles the amount of effort values that a Pokemon gains. What are effort values? Well, as Pokerus goes away after a random amount of days, but will stay dormant when in the PC, I catch Plague Brother Rattata to preserve the virus for my future team members, as well as to serve as a HM user. Getting right back on track, before I can enter the gym, I need to climb Sprout Tower. I don't know why, but I just have to. All the trainers have Bellsprout, duh. However, Lily doesn't need leveling, and Dandy has no attacking moves, meaning I just have one way of going about beating these trainers. Okay. This is gonna be so annoying. He's got 3 of them? Alright! Oh, hey, Griff. Alright, chat. What's 6 times 1? Not much. Okay. Go away. After 20 minutes, I make it to the Elder of the Tower. He has a Hoot Hoot, which is a cause for concern, but Lily is able to take it out with poison, leaving his growth-spamming Bellsprout to waste their turns as they go down without a fight. This allows me into the Flying type gym, which is commonly known as the easiest in the whole series, as all Falconer has is a Pidgey and a Pidgeotto with pitiful levels. So I attempt a fight without grinding just to try my luck. Alright, Brock was piss easy, and this fight, I hope is. Let's find out. Yeesh. Yeesh. I forgot about Roost! I forgot, that's the whole gimmick of this gym. I forgot about Roost. That's a problem. That's really bad. Okay. Okay, that's concerning. Suffice to say, I need to prep. From grinding, Nepenthes learns Sleep Powder, as well as Wrap, which can provide some okay damage over time, and Lily learns Synthesis, a move I ignored in Gen 1 mainly due to my inflexibility with movesets, but in this game I make significantly better use of it. I try the fight again with Dandy in the lead, as she now has Tackle and also Tail Whip to lower defense, which I do to his Pidgey as it sand attacks me. Before I take it out, I use Synthesis to ensure that I have as much HP as possible before Pidgeotto comes in. My goal is to lower its defense as much as I can to counteract its Roost healing. Okay, do I go for Poison Powder? Because I need to find a way to, I think Tail Whip. I think Tail Whip is easily the best thing I can do here, and I just have to hope that I survive. Yeah, okay. Not if I miss, though. It's pretty bad if I miss. Nepenthes is able to put it to sleep for long enough for Wrap to take it down to half health. This means that once Lily comes in, he'll almost definitely use Roost, allowing me to get a free Poison Powder off. This is when I notice a quirk of Falconer's AI. He's very scared of poison. Even when he's near full health, he keeps using Roost, meaning he spends more turns healing than he does attacking. When he does choose to attack, he only does so once before using Roost again the next turn, giving me free healing with Synthesis. However, Roost has double the PP that Synthesis does, so I need to be careful not to waste my uses. Eventually he runs out and decides to bet all or nothing. I think he's out now. Yeah, I think he is. Now, if I get a crit, maybe I'm fine. If not, I don't know. I really don't know. Because he outspeeds, so, like, I might be able to survive another one. I don't know. Oh my god, it was a crit. I don't think that's enough, though, right? Oh my god! Let's go! Okay. Okay. I thought that was gonna be, like, that would have been so much worse if I didn't crit there. Oh my god. Let's go, Lily. I firmly believe that if I didn't get that critical hit, I would have spent at least another half an hour on attempts. But Lily came through and made one of the biggest fears for the run disappear on just my second try. Zephyr Badge in hand, I make my way to Union Cave. Some geezer stops to hand me a Miracle Seed, a held item that boosts the power of Grass-type moves, which almost feels like an apology for how much this generation hates Grass types. One I happily accept and give to Nepenthes, as he's very much the muscle of this party right now. Union Cave provides plenty of easy XP before Azalea Town, where I witness a Team Rocket goon harass a second geezer. So I naturally go talk to a third geezer, who shoves him down a well. Turns out this well was the home of a Team Rocket Slowpoke tail harvesting operation. So I beat up all the grunts and the Rocket executive Proton. He's just a loser with a Zubat and a coughing that... Fucking speaking of coughing. Jesus. He's just a loser with a Zubat and a coughing that don't pose any threat. Nothing I don't know how to deal with by now. Moving on. Next up is the Bug-type gym leader, Bugsy. Bug types, especially back in Gen 2, were almost all comically weak, and even if one posed a threat to me, both Nepenthes and Dandy only take neutral damage from Bug-type moves anyway, so how bad can this be? Well, I'm glad you asked, because this is the hardest gym in the game. He's yellow. Bugsy's lead is also his ace, Scyther. Scyther is a ridiculously strong Pokemon for this point in the game. Not only does it have speed and power in spades, but the Gen 2 remakes reworked this fight to give it U-turn. Much like Scyther itself, this move is way too powerful for this point in the game, as it hits like a truck and then switches the user out. Meaning if you're somehow able to survive that hit, you can't even hit the thing back unless it's the only Pokemon Bugsy has left. He has two others, Metapod and Kakuna, which only have Tackle and Poison Sting respectively. These Pokemon are intended to be fodder to compensate for how strong Scyther is, but in Monograss, they're still a problem. With my weaker attacks, they take an eternity to take out, and Kakuna using Poison Sting every turn means there's zero hope of not getting poisoned unless I use Nepenthes on it, who is my only team member without a way to heal back any damage. U-turn isn't the only trick Scyther has, by the way. Even if I can paralyze it, it has Quick Attack, which has priority and gets a damage boost from the Technician ability, which boosts weaker moves. The cherry on top of this infested sundae is that even if I hit with Stun Spore, even if his other two Pokemon haven't wasted all my HP, even if I can survive a U-turn, even if I don't get killed by Quick Attack anyway, I do simply no damage to it. Oh, he's a citrus berry. Oh my god, I forgot about the citrus too. What can be done? What can I do? Because now he has quick attack, and I'm lucky I survived that. Okay. It's not looking too bad actually right now. Scyther's on half. And paralyzed. Tail Whip comes out. Lily comes in. Lily uses Tackle. It crits. It's paralyzed. I don't want to get my hopes too high. It crits again? Nah. No. Oh, wait. Quick attack and comes out and I die. Fuck. I spend 2 hours on this fight. I try everything I can think of. I even farmed shards for citrus and pecha berries, and it made next to no difference. There just simply wasn't a way around the fact that I hit like a wet noodle, and I'm left with no choice but to take drastic measures here. In the neighbouring Ilex forest, you can obtain the HM for Cut, which is about 1/3 more powerful than Tackle and over 3 times stronger than Wrap. The problem I face is that if I try and enter the forest, I'm met with my rival, a fight that can put me at risk of going over the level cap at this point. The fight itself is pretty easy. His Ghastly kills itself with Curse, Zubat has no good moves against me, and much like Deer before him, he'd rather just use Smokescreen and Leer 6 times each instead of just using Ember, so I win thanks to poison damage. But hang on a minute, do you see that? Quilava's level, it's 1 higher than Scyther's. This is a boss trainer that's blocking immediate progression, so, technically speaking, the level cap right now is 18, right? You may be thinking, so what? How much difference does that actually make? And the answer to that is everything! At level 18, Lily learns Reflect, which reduces physical damage by half for 5 turns. At level 18, Dandy evolves into Skip Loom, giving it enough bulk to take a U-turn without getting obliterated. At level 18, Nepenthes gets higher stats. Look, my point being, this is a huge deal, okay? And we aren't forgetting Cut here, which is a major improvement to my damage output for both Lily and Nepenthes. With just 1 level and 1 HM, Bugty has gone from practically impossible to entirely plausible. So let's see how this first attempt goes, shall we? Hi, Dandy. Okay. First turn U-turn, but I take that now. So how much is Cut doing? Oh my fucking god. That saves me so much. So much HP. So, yep, that's fine. And you know what I could do, actually? I mean, I could set Reflect, but I think I need to worry about that. I'll worry about that when it comes out again. I'll try a Stun Spore, I'll see what happens. Don't know what I expected. We cut this thing down. We Reflect to boost our team's defense. Use Cut again. I forgot what I was gonna do. I forgot the whole reason I did that was I was supposed to switch out, and so I could set up Stun Spore. Like that. And now I can Tail Whip. Okay. Either way, that didn't go how I wanted it to, but that still turned out quite good. So, I can Cut. That does... Okay. Oh, I live. Oh, you're paralyzed. Get fucked. Oh, you're paralyzed. Oh, I'm setting to reflect. Oh, ooh. Oh, you're paralyzed. Oh. Okay, so just berry, so that's fine. U-turn. That's fine. I use cut again. U-turn. It didn't crit. That's it. That's the fight. Okay, we did it. I'm taking it. I'm taking this. The Hive Badge allows for the use of Cut outside of battle, and Bugsy hands me the ability to spam U-turn for myself, which I save for now. Ilex Forest is uneventful, but I need to come back here when it's nighttime. Right now, I need to hightail it to the National Park before nightfall, as there's a Pokemon that only appears here during the day, and I was cutting it close. I don't actually know if this is considered daytime, and if I'm able to get what I'm looking for, but let's find out. Hey! First try! Alright, that's awesome. Okay, let's, I'm just gonna throw a Great Ball. Why not? Cool. Good talk. Do sunflowers have a cool botanical name, actually? Oh, yes, they do. That's Helianthus, baby. Sunkern is a Pokemon that I've always been interested in using someday. The reason being because it's the Pokemon with the lowest base stat total in the franchise. 30s across the board. Obviously it can evolve, but it's another stone evolution that I intend to hold off until level 33, so Helianthus is going to be stuck in this state for a while. But honestly, he carries his weight just fine. He's my first Leech Seed user, has Mega Drain to keep him alive, and Growth gives him a way to bolster his weak attacks. The National Park is also the location of the Quick Claw, which I give to him for the rest of the run, as his evolution shares the same abysmal speed stat. Since I was recording this on a Saturday, the bug catching contest is on at the park. The first place prize is a Sunstone, which I will need 2 of, so over 20 Park Balls thrown at a full health Scyther later, I get my hands on one. After farming Voltorb Flip for the Swords Dance TM, level 5. Fucking! I head back to Ilex Forest under the cover of night and find a familiar face. There we go, yeah! Got my heal ball. I didn't think that would work. I didn't think that would work first try. I'm not gonna lie. My good friend Google, who never tells lies, says that Bellossom vaguely has Plumeria in its hair, which it probably just stole from like a Reddit post, which is probably wrong, but we're calling it Plumeria. Now, you may be raising an eyebrow at the screen right now because of my no repeat Pokemon rule, but don't worry. The way I decided diverging evolutions would work in this challenge is I won't be using Plumeria here for any major fights until I'm able to evolve him into Bellossom, so he's going in the PC for the time being. With that, it's time for the normal type gym, whose gym leader is notorious for her Miltank being able to shut down unprepared teams. Thankfully, the level cap is just enough to allow the Pentheus to undergo growth spurt. Wait a minute. No, it's not. Okay, yeah, I am now only just realizing that Whitney's Miltank is level 19. For some reason in my head it was level 21. So, oops. Miscalculation on my end aside, I challenge Whitney with the game plan of hoping her metronome spamming Clefairy rolls poorly enough for Helianthus to use Growth. Whitney seems to be a fan of this idea, so Clefairy uses Mimic to do the same thing, making metronome all the more scarier. Thankfully, the worst thing I get hit with is just a Zen Headbutt, letting me take out Clefairy no problem. Miltank comes out, and I get an extremely valued Quick Claw proc as Helianthus uses Leech Seed before a track can leave him too down bad to move. I switch in Dandy to use Stun Spore. Being the only girl on my team, she is immune to Attract, which isn't very woke of her, but it allows me to spam Tail Whip scot-free, so she gets a pass. Even with -6 defense, Dandy can't outpace the Milk Drink spam, so I send in Lily to finish the job. This thing is -6. Blow it up. Yep. That was maybe the easiest Whitney I've ever done. Genuinely ever done. Upon Whitney's sore loss, the Poke-Athlon is finally open for business, a childhood time sink of mine where your Pokemon compete in different Olympic-style minigames. But I'm not here to reminisce, I'm here on business. If you want a Leaf Stone in Kanto, you literally just walk into the store and buy one. If you want a Leaf Stone in Johto, buddy, you gotta go through the tribulations. I was lucky enough that it even happened to be in the shop today, because the available items for purchase rotate daily. I had been recording for 7 hours at this point, but I needed to get this done right now. The first game I play, I'm awarded 446 points. The stone costs 2,500. I'm gonna be here for a while. The next day, I pick up a squirt bottle at the Goldenrod Florists in order to awaken the odd tree that is blocking the path to Ecruteak. There he is. It's time to get my third? It's time to get my 5th Pokemon, baby. Let's just weaken it a little bit. Okay, the bit was I was supposed to kill it in one shot. Ecruteak City is home to the Burned Tower, which the 3 legendary beasts have taken refuge in, bringing Morty out of his gym to go take a little look-see. I almost don't blame him, but it means I have to fight Rust again, so I'm just a bit miffed about it, honestly. His ghastly lead curses itself to death, again, which brings out Quilava. Despite having the exact same stat spread as Charmeleon, this guy seems so much weaker somehow. Probably because his dipshit trainer keeps making him spam Smokescreen. At this point, Lily now has Magical Leaf, a move that cannot miss, so I can ignore the accuracy drops entirely and don't even get hit by poor Quilava. His Zubat is significantly more threatening, as Wing Attack and Supersonic are enough to overpower Lily even through Reflect. Both down to our last Pokemon, Dandy is no match for Magnemite's defenses, resulting in a loss. On the second try his Smokescreen bullshit actually works, but on the third I paralyze and Leech Seed his 2 threats to death, leaving Ghastly and Magnemite powerless to stop Lily. Once I tell the beast to skedaddle, the Ghost-type gym is now available to me. Amongst the 251 Pokemon available in Gen 2, only 4 of them are Ghost-types, 3 of which are on the Gengar line, and the 4th doesn't even make an appearance in this gym anyway. Every trainer in this gym, leader included, has only Ghastlies, Haunters, and Gengar, all of which are also Poison types. While all the trainers are just XP fodder, Morty couldn't be anything further from that. Ghastly is a joke, but it's always followed up with Gengar, who is, once again, an extremely fast, extremely powerful Pokemon that I simply cannot hit hard enough to deal with. It doesn't even need to use the Hypnosis it has, because it knows that Shadow Ball spam is more than enough to deal with my team right now. Even if I get Paraleech set up on him, Morty just uses a Hyper Potion and brings me back to square one anyway. After a couple of tries, I know I need to go back to the drawing board. Okay, I forgot that I wasn't recording. But essentially all that really matters is I have the TMs for Light Screen and Solar Beam. Very nice right here, by the way. And Return. I don't know if that will matter at all, but these will probably help a lot. Light Screen at the very least will help a ton in the fight. But also I've decided now I'm gonna get Blossom now. I think that is my only hope of. I think I need a 5th Pokemon just to deal with everything. I could probably kill the Gengar with my current team, but then I need to actually, deal with everything else. I'll be honest, when in the planning stage for this game, I had no idea what Blossom was going to bring to this team. I had a whole slander section planned in my head because I thought it'd be, not useless per se, but outclassed with no particular role to fill. Near identical stats to Vileplume while also losing the poison type makes Blossom a strange case. But wow, I was severely underestimating how bulky this thing can be. Plumeria can tank Shadow Balls from Gengar like they're nothing. Something that became clear to me during this fight is how the AI handles Pokemon it perceives as tanky. The AI takes its time by trying to use statuses like Sleep to prevent damage to itself, which with the combination of Hypnosis's low accuracy and some frankly insane paralysis luck, allows Plumeria to get Gengar down to potion range twice. Lily then gets to finish off Gengar, and from there the fight is a piece of cake. Both of Morty's Haunter are too weak and too frail to withstand the rest of my team, getting me an unbelievable first try win with the new plan. Plumeria could be a literal dead weight in my party, and I'd still be happy with him for getting me past this roadblock basically single-handedly. The fog badge allows for surf to be used outside of battle, which I obtained the HM for by beating up a guy who sucked at dancing in front of a live studio audience. This means I need to go catch a water type, as once again nobody on my team knows how to catch any waves. Once I make it to Olivine, I obtain a rod from a local fisherman, catch a crabby, teach it surf, and then head straight to Sea and Wood City. Before I take on the gym, I spend a lot of time breaking the rocks on the shore for a heart scale I never end up actually needing for anything. But the process was worth it, as it gets Dandy up to level 27. Yeah! I wasn't sure if it was now or level 28. He does the silly kicks. Oh, I love her. Ah, he was so cute. With that, I enter the fighting type gym. Chuck here only has 2 Pokemon to his name, but both are a threat. Both of which try to make it so you can't hit them so they can charge up a Focus Punch, which nobody on my team could withstand. His Primeape likes to use Double Team to dodge your attacks, but thankfully Plumeria gets off a Stun Spore and then Magical Leaves her way to a hitless KO. All that's left is his Poliwrath, who misses Hypnosis and doesn't dodge a Stun Spore. It's looking like a free W, but despite being a water type, Poliwrath can take enough hits to get a Hypnosis off into 3 Focus Punches, putting an end to Plumeria. Lily then keeps the Magical Leaf train a-rollin', burning through all of Chuck's Hyper Potions and securing me the confusingly named Storm Badge. This allows for Fly to be used outside of battle, which you're given the HM for the second you leave the gym. So with that, I get Fly. Not only is that fast travel, which is so nice, but also finally, Dandy gets a flying type move, which is so nice for me. I surf like the loser plebeian I am back to Olivine and make my way to the top of the lighthouse to meet Jasmine, the steel-type gym leader. She's tending to the sick Ampharos that serves as the lighthouse's beacon, so she sends me to get the secret potion from Sea and Wood. Which, by the way, isn't even a potion? They're clearly pills of some sort. Whatever, anyway, she gives the Ampharos the medicine and then she goes back to her gym. Yay. Now I have an interesting dilemma here. Her level cap is 35. But for some bloody reason, the gym after this has a level cap of 34, so I don't want to level up too much for this. I decide to just raw dog it 6 levels under and see what happens. I lead Dandy. Dandy has a simple role. Stun Spore, Leech Seed, U-turn out. This combo makes her by far the best lead I have, so the majority of my fights lead with her from here on out. Magnemite tries to Thunder Wave, but Dandy has a Cherry Berry to negate it, so she switches out for Plumeria to finish the job. Out comes Steelix, who has 7 levels over me on top of immense offense and defense, so I paralyze it and swap to Helianthus, who manages to seed the snake, but ends up on the wrong side of an Iron Tail for his efforts. Lily's Reflect allows him to withstand some hits, and despite having Screech, Steelix refuses to use it, allowing me to keep my health up with Synthesis. I can't tell if the AI was extremely smart or extremely stupid, because she uses Sandstorm when another Iron Tail probably would have killed. This halves Synthesis' effectiveness, and makes Steelix even tankier just in time for a Hyper Potion. I set another Reflect, and then send it in Plumeria to hopefully chip away at it just that little bit faster. Yeah, the problem is it's so much bulkier now because of the Sandstorm that just ended. Never mind. And then it wastes a turn Sandstorming. And it's dead. Okay. Sick. Okay, then this is, I think I can take out a single Magnemite. Sonic Boom! Yeah, that's it. Woo! That was interesting. That was a cool fight. I had a lot of fun with that. That could have gone very badly, but I think I piloted that very well. I'm very proud of myself. After claiming the mineral badge, I head towards the Lake of Rage. The red Gyarados actually almost wipes my team out, but we persevere and meet Lance. Somehow impressed with that sorry display, he asks if I want to hang out with him as he storms a terrorist hideout. Okay. I join him and eventually find my way to Petrol, beat him up for the code for the generator, and then get jumped by Ariana, who tries to 2v1 me. Thankfully, Lance shows up to give me some assistance. And by give some assistance, I mean do all the work for me. Boy, that Dragonite's pretty strong. I sure would hate to be on the receiving end of that thing. Once the electrode-powered 5G tower is disabled, the Mahogany Gym opens up, and this one's the Ice-type gym, so I'm making damn sure I'm ready for it. Since they mostly have water types, the gym trainers are all easy levels for me, which gets Lily up to her final form. Oh yeah. It's a flower of some description. Yeah! This is also the part where Helianthus finally gets to learn Synthesis, meaning I have no reason not to evolve him at this point. However, I had already used my Sunstone on Plumeria, and I was 2 days out from the next bug catching contest, meaning that I had to do a little bit of time travel. It's a Tuesday now. Hey guys, it's me. Tubes Day. It's Tubes Day, innit? We got a Sunstone. Grow, my boy. Grow into the nuclear bomb you were always destined to be. My stupid chud son. And finally, I also decide this is when Nepenthes should evolve too. There wasn't anything stopping me from doing this like 6 or 7 levels ago, honestly. I just felt like saving it for some reason. Oh, I love Nepenthes so much. They're so cool. With that, my team is now fully evolved and fully prepared for Price's ice types. Unfortunately, Nepenthes is still stuck with Vine Whip as his best attack, but that actually works out in my favor, as one hit gets Price to waste a potion on by far his weakest Pokemon. Piloswine comes in next, managing to outspeed and hit with Blizzard. Plumeria retaliates using Stun Spore, which fully paralyzes the pig 2 turns in a row. One tanked Blizzard later, and Price is just left with one Pokemon, Dugong. It takes out Plumeria with Aurora Beam, so I sacrifice Dandy in order to paralyze once more. I decide to test out Helianthus' newfound power, as Mega Drain does about 40%. I assume this means a victory for me, but apparently Price values this thing more than Piloswine, as he had another full restore this whole time. Helianthus goes down, and all I have left is Lily. Dugong uses Rest to restore its health, but it doesn't have an Awakening Berry, so I can easily take it out with Magical Leaf, meaning I have just one gym to go. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, as our favourite time wasters Team Rocket have taken over the Goldenrod radio tower, and for some reason, this is my mess to deal with. Yay! Much like Silphco, this is widely regarded as the worst part of the game, and I think I've made my opinion quite clear on non-stop Team Rocket grunt fights by now. However, I'm not going to start screaming about it this time. This part's just more boring than anything, so I'll just talk about the admins. Petrel's brilliant team of 5 coughing, 1 wheezing actually almost wipes me out, but once again Plumeria carries the team with his defensive capabilities. Next up is a surprise encounter with Rust that I forgot about completely. His Golbat wipes the floor with Nepenthes, but a Leech Seed from Dandy and Cut Spam from Lily shoot it down. Quilava is next, but I predict a Flame Wheel and use Reflect, which keeps Lily alive, allowing me to heal back up and cut Quilava down to half health before getting burned and outpaced. Plumeria then loses the Smokescreen Roulette, effectively sealing my fate. On the rematch, Nepenthes manages to sleep the Golbat long enough to cut it to death. Quilava also gets slept, meaning I can freely set up Reflect again with Lily, this time managing to take it out himself. Sneasel is a scary sight, and in my haste I waste a turn using Reflect when I didn't need to, meaning Lily goes down next turn. Dandy's U-turn then does over half its health, so Plumeria finishes the job. Haunter curses, forcing me to switch. I sacrifice Nepenthes and switch to Helianthus, who drains the ghost's remaining life force. Last is Magnemite, who I once again Leech Seed stall until victory is mine. Making my way through the basement, I save the Radio Tower Director, who gives me the card key I need to access the higher floors of the tower. The next admin is Proton, who still only has 2 Pokemon, so he's not worth my precious script space to talk about how his fight went. Following that bozo is Ariana, who isn't much harder really. Her Arbok paralyzes both Dandy and Lily, allowing her normally very weak Murkrow to take out Lily with Nightshade. Nepenthes murks the Crow and then gets into an Acid Off with her Vileplume, which he easily wins, leaving just 1 fight left to go. Unlike his goons, Archer looked to be a genuine threat. Houndour and Houndoom could run rampant on my team, but after some grinding I give him a try. That is more than I'd like it to. How much is this doing? Less than I'd like it to, but to be fair, I do need to teach this thing Sludge Bomb anyway, so... Ooh. We live those. And there's no way in hell he doesn't just send out Houndoom, right? Like, he'd be stupid not to. Yeah. Oh, it's level 38. Okay. Oh? That's insane. That's insane. I really wish I taught this thing Sludge Bomb now. Archer's generational fumble here allows me to take half of Houndoom's health for free. Lily and Dandy both do what they can to lower its health, but Plumeria ends up being the one to claim the kill. All that's left is a Coughing, which I've probably beaten 20 of by now in this section of the game alone, so Team Rocket's last stand ends with a whimper. While thwarting terrorists and shutting down their podcast is his own reward, the real prize from doing this is one of the hostages provides me with one of the best items in the game, the Sunny Day TM. While my team is considerably less sun reliant compared to Gen 1, it's still extremely useful. Besides my starter and one exception I'll get to later, my entire team has Chlorophyll. I teach Sunny Day to Dandy, her final moveset being Stun Spore, Leech Seed, Sunny Day, and U-Turn, the ultimate setup Pokemon. Helianthus also learned Sunny Day from the last grinding session, which gives me a nice safety net if something ever happens to Dandy. Beating Team Rocket also allows me to head to Route 44, a route that I've been gunning for, as this is the only location in Johto to catch Tangela. Well, I like that guy, but he's not what I'm looking for. Hey! Okay, level 23, that's really annoying. I want to catch it in a heavy ball. Because I think they're cool. Yeah! Another reason why I wanted to play the Gen 2 remakes is that if I played the original, I'd once again only have 5 Pokemon to work with. The remakes, however, give me access to Tangrowth. While Tangela's stats are clunky at best, Tangrowth's are brilliant. It gets practically double the HP and attack, even higher defense and special attack, all at the cost of a slight loss of speed, which hardly matters because it still has Chlorophyll. Fun fact, the first Tangela I caught I named Rubus, which is the botanical name for brambles, but this one had leaf guards, so I had to get another. But the next one I found was a boy instead of a girl, so I named it Rubert instead, so meet Rubert. Aww. My church son Rupert, who was overweight, and I hate him. For the record, I'm treating future added evolutions the same way I would diverging ones. I can't use the base form for major fights until it evolves. Thankfully, this doesn't matter at all in this case, as Tangela evolves... Oh, hang on, sorry, that info isn't in the script. Let me just look that up really quick. Oh, it's when it learns Ancient Power. Wait, Ancient Power?! Not only does Tangrowth learn Rock-type moves, but it requires one to evolve in the first place. This finally gives me an answer to Fire and Flying types. Tangrowth's type coverage goes a lot further than Rock-type 2, it's actually pretty ridiculous. All in all, Rupert gives me some much needed firepower to hopefully speed up the coming battles, as I'm getting pretty tired of how slow burn every fight seems to end up going. Once I'm bored of leveling up Rupert, I continue through Route 44 and make it to the Ice Path. Thankfully, much like the Seafoam Islands, there's no Ice-type trainers in here. And thankfully, unlike the Seafoam Islands, I actually know my way around this place, so I quickly make it to Blackthorn City. I've been itching to make it here for a long time, as this is where you can find the move deleter in this game. Because of the Bugsy fight, Lily and Nepenthes have been stuck with Cut this entire game, which has been a massive thorn in my side as it's really compromised what moves they can have. Thankfully, those days are finally behind me, as I can replace Cut with Return for Nepenthes, and since the tutor for it is in the exact same building, I teach Lily Frenzy Plant, a grass-type version of Hyper Beam that only starter Pokemon can learn. I'm not huge on moves with a recharge turn, but I figured it'd be worth giving a try for the time being. Next up on the to-do list is to take down the Dragon-type gym leader Clair. Her level cap is 41, but it's at this point that one of the game's major flaws really starts to rear its ugly head. Grinding is so damn slow. For some reason, the Johto region is allergic to making the wild Pokemon any higher level than the early 20s. This makes grinding in the late game a glacial-paced bore, as you need to take out almost hundreds of wild Pokemon just to reach the level cap. Luckily for me, there's a way around that issue. The cap for Clair, the level cap, is level 41. As you can see, my team is a little bit below that. So I'm gonna have to grind. Again. However, I've spent I think maybe 2 full hours of this gameplay grinding. So I have a cool solution that works better. Wasn't that so much easier? While I'm normally not the biggest fan of leveling this way, as I think wild Pokemon are really important for effort values, thanks to Pokerus, most of my team is already damn close to the EV cap anyway, so it bothers me a lot less here. Also, if you know these games at all, you knew that I was gonna do this sooner or later anyway, as I'd like to get this video out before 2027, thank you very much. With my team dubiously doped up, I challenge the final Johto gym leader. Let's see what Rubit's capable of. Let's see how this goes. There's like a million different ways this can end, and I'm very intrigued to find out how. Oh, okay. Alright. First turn Omni Boost. What? I swear cheats are off. I swear. What the fuck? Okay, I don't know if it even makes a difference long term, but that's insane. Wow. I swear I'm not cheating. Rubit manages to put the double Omni Boost to good use, as it tanks a Fire Blast from half health from Clair's first Dragonair and steals another knockout. Kingdra's out next, and this thing is not to be trifled with, as it's equally as infamous as Whitney's Mill Tank for how it overwhelms teams. But I have a plan. Remember that other ability I didn't mention earlier? While Helianthus could have had Chlorophyll like everyone else, it wasn't outspeeding anything with only 30 base speed anyway, so I elected for a second ability, Solar Power. What this does is it gives a 50% special attack boost while in the harsh sunlight, at the cost of 1/8 of your health every turn. On top of that, Helianthus also just learned Solar Beam. His base special attack stat is 105. With all those factors combined, what do you think that'll do to a measly little seahorse? Ugh, man. Okay, whatever, I guess I'll just do the same old boring paralysis into leech seed plan. That works too. Her second Dragonair manages to overpower Plumeria, but Nepenthes returns, haha, the favor, meaning Clair has no Pokemon left to fight with, meaning now I finally have every single, oh no, I have to solve this guy's 3 riddles first. Great. Okay, cool, I have 8 batches now, moving on. Professor Elm calls me and tells me to come back to his lab, where he gives me a Master Ball for my efforts and tells me that I've been summoned by the Kimono Girls, who in order to bring back Ho-Oh, need to test my worth as a trainer. This is a gauntlet of 5 fights, each of them having one of the evolutions. First is Umbreon, who does very little damage and is dealt with using Leech Seed. Espeon is a much heavier hitter, but U-Turn does enough damage for Plumeria to finish it off. Flareon is a scary sight, so I sacrifice Dandy to paralyze it. The obvious choice right now is to use Rubit, who can't even do half its health before a crit Fire Blast sends him packing. I taught Plumeria Sludge Bomb to give him a strong move for this kind of situation, but even that isn't enough, so Nepenthes once again does the cleanup. Next is the Jolteon, with my lead now being Helianthus. Given the favourable type matchup, I figure it's once again time to try and demonstrate what he's capable of in the right circumstances. Yeah, thanks to double team spam, he misses 4 solar beams in a row and gets taken out. Lily hits a Frenzy Plant, but it isn't enough. After 10 turns of healing and repeated attempts to hit it later, I send in Nepenthes, who has no luck. Lily is my last Pokemon left. It's all up to him. I just lose off this. Why don't you... Oh my god. Oh my god, we're both out of attacks. You kidding me? This is stupid. This is so stupid. Come on, man. Oh, Christ. Okay. Whatever. One extremely salty run back later, I'm back to Jolteon with just Helianthus, Nepenthes, and Lily on extremely low health. I Leech Seed the Jolteon as a plan B, and go back to the original Solar Railgun plan afterwards. Although by now the Jolteon is on like +4 evasion or something, so it's not like this will actually... All that's left is the Vaporeon, but I'm not out of the woods yet, as it has a Aurora Beam, but thankfully Nepenthes hits a critical Vine Whip and takes it out in 2 hits, meaning the gauntlet is finally over. This actually works to lure out Ho-Oh somehow, so everyone rushes to the bell tower to go say hi. 1 climb, 1 dance, and 1 Master Ball later, I now have a Ho-Oh, which I caught for the sacred ash it holds onto, so now it can enjoy a peaceful retirement in PC jail. Before I can make it to Victory Road, I need a Pokemon that can learn Waterfall, so I replace my funny crab with a funny fish that's more vertically inclined. I also take this opportunity to pick up the TM for Aerial Ace in Mount Mortar, and in this game I swear I actually intend to use it this time. I make it to Victory Road, which is even sadder than the previous games as there's literally not a single trainer in here, besides another fight with Rust right before the exit. How nice of him. Annoyingly, because of needing Waterfall to get here, I had to lead Nepenthes in the PC, meaning this is a 5v6, which I quickly even out as Lily obliterates his Sneasel with Frenzy Plant. I set up a light screen in front of his Golbat and send in Rubert to deal with it, but my Confusion luck is once again absolutely terrible as it chips him down to only 36 health. Typhlosion is next, but I'm able to outspeed it and hit 1 more Ancient Power into it thanks to the Choice Scarf, an item that boosts your speed by 50%, but locks you into only using 1 move until you switch out. This is one of the items that your mum can buy for you if you have her save your money, and it means I don't have to worry about setting the Sunlight to make Rubert outspeed most Pokemon. Thanks to this, Plumeria can come in and finish off Typhlosion with a Sludge Bomb. Haunter then deals the killing blow to Plumeria, and then curses Lily as I set Light Screen, so I switch to Helianthus and do the Solar Railgun combo. This combo is almost powerful enough to also OHKO the Magneton, but in predicting that it will go for a much weaker move to finish off Helianthus, I switch to Lily. Thanks to the Sunlight, Synthesis heals Lily to almost full health, so he finishes off both the Magnets and the Magician. Rust admits defeat, and with that, I'm finally at the Indigo Plateau once more. So, remember that cute little personal rule I mentioned in the last video? About making my level cap 7 below the champion's strongest Pokemon? Yeah, fuck that rule. We are not doing that this time around. Disregarding the 5 fights ahead of me, going up to the usually accepted level cap of 47 gives my team significantly better moves compared to 43. Most notably Body Slam for Lily and Nepenthes finally getting a strong Grass type attack in Leaf Blade. With the team ready, I was planning to wait until the next day to attempt the Elite Four, as I was getting pretty tired, having recorded over 20 hours of footage in the span of just 4 days. But that same day, something I never would have expected happened. So, I am pretty much ready. I leveled everyone up to 47. There's the movesets. I wasn't actually, I thought today I would just get here to this point and then just stop, like slow down a bit. But, I received a bit of motivation in the form of part 1. It's only been just under 5 days since I uploaded part 1, and it's already at 1,000 views. And I cannot believe that. I am, like, what is wrong with you people? Before uploading part 1, my pipe dream goal for it was to get 1k views before the new year. But you guys absolutely shattered that goal and then some. Thank you all. So much. With the support of you guys filling me with motivation, I go on to face the brand new Elite Four. The first being Will, the Psychic-type Master. I set up the Sun as his Xatu U-turns into Jinx, which eats a lot of damage from Dandy's own U-turn to be finished off by Plumeria. Xatu U-turns again, this time into a second Xatu, sure. Plumeria takes them both down to 60% health, and then Rubik kills 2 burns with like, I don't know, 10 stones each. It's not as impressive as the saying, but it gets the job done. Executor is next, and the idea of 4 times effective U-turn is too enticing to ignore, with any doubts of it one-shotting or not going away as I also land a crit. Finally, his Slowbro is easy pickings for Nepenthes, even managing to take a Psychic from it, bringing me a swift victory against the first of the 4. Next up is Koga. Having been promoted from his gym leader position, he packs much more of a punch compared to Gen 1. His Ariados lead is an easy switch in for Rubert, who I elect to lock into Earthquake to prepare for what comes out afterwards, which pays off, as Ancient Power wouldn't have had enough PP left to take out his Venomoth. Up third is his Muck, who thankfully misses a gunk shot, resulting in a third knockout for Rupert, which I was grateful for as I knew this thing loved to use Minimize. Crobat I'm forced to switch out against, so I switch in Helianthus and try and seed it, only for it to use Double Team. Seriously, what is with the Johto games and their obsession with fucking with accuracy? This is like the 10th fight that does this, I swear to God. Thankfully, I eventually connect with it and can only really rely on Plumeria to use Magical Leaf, which is about as effective as drawing blood from a stone. It's only when it's too late that I realized I could have just used Aerial Ace instead and saved myself like 3 minutes of boredom. Oh well, Lily thankfully connects a Body Slam to take it out. Bafflingly, his final Pokemon is Forretress, which if you don't know, is a Pokemon you really want to lead a fight with, so it poses no threat. The only member of the Elite Four that's still here after 3 years is thankfully the easiest, Bruno. And while I don't have access to Psychic Spam this time around, he's still not too hard. Aerial Ace takes out Hitmon's Top and Lee, but Hitmonchan puts a stop to my sweep with a critical Fire Punch that also burns Rupert. But Plumeria paralyzes and then Lily walls it with Reflect. After paralyzing and then setting up the Sun against his Machamp, all the pieces are in place for Helianthus to clean up the fight. Just one member left, but I knew she'd be the hardest. Karen's the Dark-type master, with a tricky team that feels impossible to have easy answers for even in a normal playthrough. Her Umbreon is a proper bastard. Synchronize means that I can't paralyze it without consequences, and it uses Double Team and Confuse Ray to mess with you. When faced with Plumeria, it swaps out into Murkrow, who barely overpowers him, but gets left in U-turn range for the effort. This means I get a free switch into whoever I want for the Pokemon I just know is coming out next, Houndoom. Rupert uses Earthquake, which just barely isn't enough to put the Hound down, so I sacrifice Dandy to get the Sun up for Nepenthes to finish the job. Umbreon comes back out, and I get a little greedy. I kind of want a Swords Dance. Is that crazy? I think it's crazy. I think I need to kill this thing before it confuses me and double teams me. Oh. Yeah. This is so inviting for a setup, but I'm so scared of it doing something. I think I will anyway. What's the worst that could happen? I get confused and then hit myself to death? What? No. Oh, please. Oh, I bought this on myself. I bought this on myself. Oh no. Oh no. The consequences of my actions. And now it's faster than me, probably. Oh no. Okay. Okay. Ooh. That's fine. Gengar takes good damage from Leaf Blade, but all I have to deal with it at this point is Helianthus, as Lily can't touch it. I Leech Seed as Gengar fishes for a kill with Destiny Bomb. So it begs the question of if Leech Seed kills, does that trigger Destiny Bomb? The answer is no, thankfully, so I have a 2-against-1 lead against her Vileplume. Helianthus gets it down to full restore range, but gets shut down before it can do anything else. You locked yourself into Petal Dance? Oh, it's so over. It's so over. You're an idiot. You're a fool. You're a moron. You're dead. You're dead. You're dead as hell. You're dead as a fucking doorknob. You're unbelievably, so unfathomably dead. I have never met anyone more dead than you. You are a corpse flower. That's how dead you are. You're a corpse flower who's dead. A dying corpse flower. And I outspeed you. No, I don't. Well, it's still possible to lose. It is annoyingly possible to lose right now, actually. I swear to God. Oh, what the fuck? Do something stupid. No. That is agonizing. That is awful. I nearly had a perfect Elite Four run. I was one bad turn away from winning that. Fuck. On the rematch, I give Dandy a Cherry Berry so I can paralyze the Umbreon without risk, but it gets full restored anyway. This time, Umbreon swaps into Vileplume, who Plumeria beats with his much stronger Poison-type move, proving he is the superior Oddish evolution. Murkrow then forces in Nepenthes, who handles it easily, but then Houndoom is next. This is make or break. There's Houndoom. Which is a scary thing to see. Unless Dark Pulse doesn't kill, but why wouldn't it not kill? Yeah. We pray for Stun Spore, we miss the Stun Spore. die to flamethrower and probably lose. Okay, well I misclicked. I did not mean to do that. At all. What the fuck? Okay. And that's gonna do like how much? Oh! What? And it crit just, you know, fuck it. Like, at this point, we're just making stuff up, really. This gets me a free chunk of Gengar's health, and this time I opt to put it to sleep to avoid Destiny Bond, but Seed kills it anyway. Her lead is now her last, as Magical Leaf eventually secures me my victory. Honestly, I think Magical Leaf was my favorite move in this entire run, solely because shutting down evasion tactics feels so good. Once Karen is done spitting straight fire, I'm mere moments away from the champion. The final hurdle before I can declare victory. Whoever they are, I'm so fired up that there's no possible way I can admit defeat. This is it. The final battle. Bring it on! Oh, it's Lance. Oh fuck, why did it have to be Lance? Remember how I completely forgot that Lance was in the Elite Four of Kanto? Well, in hindsight, that's probably because I was so tunnel visioned on this fight instead from the moment I can see this whole challenge. Why? Well, let me break this down for you. His first Pokemon is once again Gyarados, which has Intimidate to weaken my physical attacks, and Ice Fang, which completely shuts down Dandy as my lead, as well as threatens most of my team with flinching and freezing bullshit. This is his easiest Pokemon to deal with, by the way. This is always followed up by our good old friend, motherfucking Charizard, baby, yes! If Air Slash from this bastard doesn't just one-shot something outright, it will probably just make me flinch anyway. Thankfully, now I have an answer to this with Ancient Power. It's what I would say if it was powerful enough to OHKO it. Not even my easy answer is a guaranteed way to deal with this thing. Then he'll send out Dragonite. Oh, sorry, let me be more specific. He sends out the first of his 3 Dragonites. Yep, they're all grown up this time around, and he uses this one first because it has Blizzard, which can and will take out my team before I can stall it to death. My original plan to deal with this thing was to use Natural Gift on Lily while holding a Yachi Berry, which makes the move Ice-type, but Mummy Dearest never bought me any, so that's a colossal wrench in that idea, isn't it? For clarity's sake, I'm dubbing this Dragonite, Dragonice. This is where most of my attempts die, but if by some miracle I can take it out, next is Aerodactyl. This thing isn't the worst to deal with, but it's a speed demon that basically requires the sun up for me to outspeed it. I'm normally out of answers for it by the time it comes out, but I found that saving the Pentheus for it usually works if Sleep Powder doesn't miss. That's a big if. 5th is his strongest Dragonite, who we'll just call the same name. Safeguard can prevent me from statusing it if I'm not careful, and it also has Outrage, Hyper Beam, and Fire Blast, which all hit like a ton of bricks. I could never figure out when it would choose between Outrage and Fire Blast, so sometimes I could deal with it as it gets locked into Outrage, and sometimes it just decides to kill what little team members haven't fainted yet. His final Pokemon, Dragonlight, is identical to Dragonice, but has Thunder over Blizzard. This makes it the easiest of the 3, but it always comes out last and still has Dragon Rush, Hyper Beam, and Thunder Wave to shoot down my victory right at the end. I'm sure you're asking how on earth I can overcome this. And motherfucker, so am I! What can I possibly do against this? I spent the next hour trying again and again and again and again, considering it a miracle if I ever got to see Aerodactyl, which, as a reminder, marks the halfway point of the fight. I even tried teaching everybody Hidden Power to see if one of them had Ice, but nobody did. That's how much I was scrambling for a solution here. The best tactic I came up with was leading with Rubit and praying that I would get at least one Omni Boost using Ancient Power to guarantee the one-shot on Charizard, which would then let me at least do half to Dragonice. My plan was luck. No other word for it. I was relying on a 10% chance to happen before I'd even consider an attempt to have a sliver of potential. My team was simply not strong enough, so I eventually caved and once again resorted to extreme measures. My only hopes of victory would come from either going back to the start and grinding up to Lance's level cap, or just using rare candies and saving myself an hour of effort. I'm not happy I had to do this, but I cannot stress enough how hopeless this fight was, and it gave me just a fraction more wiggle room to work with. Let me show you what a perfect scenario run looks like. Okay. 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 Quick Claw Sunny Day. Oh my god. Hello. I mean, I still die, but Sunny Day is insane. Okay. If this works, I am gonna be in so good shape. Fuck, dude, what do I do here? Do I gamble? Why don't I use return? What am I doing? Oh, I'm stupid. I need a full restore and I use return again anyway. I fucking fumbled. Oh my god. Oh no. I had such a good lead there and I have just shat all over it. Now that has to kill. Just simply has to kill. But he's down to 1. He's down to 1. Oh, it's so close. Oh, it's so close. Oh, full restore. Yep. Fuck! I came so close. This was the first attempt that saw Dragonlight. This took 1 hour and 40 minutes. I could show you the probably 3-figure number of attempts this fight took, but let's just skip to the part you all came to see, shall we? Hey, that might actually mean something. Hey, it does. And he wasted full restore too, so that's pretty good. Dragon Rush. Sunny Day. Yay. Sleep Powder. Good Sleeper. Soul's Dance. Into Return. Okay. This is my last attempt before I go and make dinner. Hey buddy, I'm gonna use Leaf Blade. The leaf move that works on leaf types. Can you tell I've been doing this a long time? I'm kind of going insane. It's been 2 hours now. This fight marks roughly the 2nd hour of this. Yay! Now, the ideal right now is a Fire Blast that misses, and then I hit Sleep Powder, and then I get to kill him. It would have been so nice. I think I want to Leech Seed first. Stunspell missed. Fire Blast. Bye-bye. That's fine, because Body Slam kills here. Safeguard is a pain in my ass. Okay, last Dragonite. I have to reflect here because I'm gonna eat a... I'm about to eat... Well, I'm about to eat a Thunder Wave, but then I'm gonna continue to eat Dragon Rushes. Okay. Hyper... Oh my god! If I survive this, and I connect twice, because he can't potion right now. Everything hinges on if I don't get paralyzed right now. Oh my fucking god, yes! We did it! Oh my god! Oh, that was miserable. That was utter misery. Oh, that's my fucking starter right there. Oh yeah. Woo! Yay! That was an underdog story for sure, but I don't know about you, but I'm not exactly satisfied with a fight being that luck-reliant for an ending. You all know what's coming up next. Once you beat the champion, you get access to the Kanto region, which has revamped fights with all 8 of the gym leaders. We're gonna blitz through these so we can get to the fight that you're all waiting for. So I'm gonna rank every single Kanto gym leader tier list style in order of when I fought them. If you wanted me to go in depth about these fights, there's a whole ass first part you can watch about that, alright? And while you're at it, subscribe for good measure. Ready? Let's go. Lieutenant Surge is so easy that I don't even need to use Earthquake to beat him. D tier. Sabrina only has 3 Pokemon, but they're pretty scary. Espeon and Alakazam almost give me a run for my money, even using Skill Swap to try and steal my Chlorophyll boosts. But Rupert barely survives a Psychic and clutches out a close loss. A tier. Misty's obviously not that hard, but she at least has Ice-type moves to prevent me from completely rolling over her team. C tier. Brock fares better than the first time I fought him, And by that I mean he manages to hit me one time instead of not at all, as Nepenthes ripped through him. Bottom tier. He also gives me the Rock Slide TM, which I teach to Rubert. Erica relies on chlorophyll just as much as I do, so I let her set up the sun for me as Nepenthes sets up and once again solos her entire team. D tier. Needless to say, this is where Nepenthes really gets to shine, as the Elite Four rarely allowed him to get away with setting up, but in Kanto, he's the undisputed MVP. Next is Koga's daughter, Janine, who really surpassed my expectations. Her wheezing stalls out Lily and then blows up on Nepenthes before he can get off the ground, leaving me walled by an Ariados of all things, so I have to rematch her. This time I respect her wheezing considerably more, allowing for another Nepenthes sweep. S tier for Janine, good for her honestly. Blaine's an interesting one, as thanks to the Cinnabar volcano destroying the island, the gym has been relocated to the Seafoam Islands. I absolutely adore this as world building, but it means I have to leave a team member behind as I need to surf there, and for some reason I left Rubert behind, so I decided to intentionally lose to Blaine so I can quickly get back to the Pokemon Center. Here's how it went. Watch me win. Now watch me nay. Helianthus sweep, watch this. One down. Easy clap. Magma, well like, mag nothing. Okay, let it be known I was kidding. Let it be known I was kidding! No fucking way! I mean, I don't think I win, but like... Oh my god. This is really funny. I was trying to die. I'm just trying to lose. There we go. Okay. That's kind of what I expected. It's kind of what I was in the market for. Bye-bye. Trying for realsies, Blaine is another member of the Only 3 Pokemon Club. I can only assume because his old team died during the Cinnabar Island incident. On top of this, he loves using Overheat and Flare Blitz. Both moves weaken the Pokemon using them in one way or another, so the fight is more of a war of attrition, but I have significantly more men than him. It's not that hard, but I did technically lose to him, so fuck it, he can have a B tier. Finally, we have our good friend Dear Old Deer. Despite his Execute having Chlorophyll, I use Sunny Day anyway, and then he uses Trick Room, which inverts the speed order, completely throwing my game plan off. Because of this, he outspeeds even through Paralysis, taking out Dandy before she can use U-turn. He then switches it out into Rhydon to block Lily's Body Slam, so I follow his example and switch into Rubert to prepare for his Arcanine, which I forgot had Intimidate, so I sacrificed Helianthus to get my attack back up. Rock Slide then flinches the Arcanine, allowing for a damageless kill for Rubert. It takes half my team, but his ace Pidgeot eventually falls at Plumeria's hands. Then I'm left with just Nepenthes, who puts Gyarados to sleep and sets up 2 Swords Dances, so I can then one-shot him, his Executor, and then finally his Machamp. I was not expecting to first try Deer at all, especially with how poor my opening was, but I'll take it. While I didn't lose to him, he did put up a hell of a fight, and I felt the need to level up a bit before his fight, so he's earned his spot in S tier, I think. With 16 gym badges now under my belt, Professor Oak makes arrangements for me to visit Mount Silver, the final location in this game where the true final boss awaits. But before that, I need to force feed my animals no more and no less than 138 rare candies so they can make it to level 81. On top of that, Plumeria now has Leaf Storm, Rubert now has Power Whip, and Lily has Rock Climb. Not by choice, but I need it to climb the mountain, so it's replacing Reflect. However, I do pick up the Light Clay on Route 9, which extends how long Light Screen lasts at least. With that, I believe we finally reached the apex of this team and are ready to climb Mount Silver and fight the true champion. Red. The first thing to address in this fight is the weather. The mountain is constantly buffeted by hail unless you can do something to prevent it, which thankfully is half of my MO anyway, so Dandy uses Sunny Day before getting one-shot by his freakishly strong Pikachu. A Quick Claw proc sends Pikachu packing, but it wouldn't be a final boss in this series if there wasn't a motherfucking Charizard! That's 3 in a row, baby! I'm gonna be rich! Fortunately for me, Rock Slide one-shots it, so I have nothing to worry about there. Unfortunately, now Lapras comes out, whose Blizzard is a scary sight, so I sack Rupert and let Plumeria's new Leaf Storm rip into it. Next up is Venusaur, and being the goat that it is, it proceeds to wipe out my entire team with Sleep and Sludge Bomb. Not bad for a first try, much better than Lance ever was for sure. But my rematches have a problem. Rock Slide only ever one-shots Charizard with a critical hit, leaving it in potion range otherwise, meaning that once again, I'd need luck to take it out without spending half my team to do it. But as previously stated, that is not how I want to end things. Thankfully, I know just what to do to up Rubert's damage. There was another reason why I chose to play Heart Gold, If you take Ho-Oh to a certain door in the Ruins of Alph, it opens up and contains a life orb inside, which boosts your damage at the cost of a bit of your health every turn. I could have done this before the Elite Four, and it would have saved me a lot of headaches, honestly. But in my defense, it's kind of a pain to get here, and... Okay, I was just feeling really lazy, alright? But with this, our team is truly at its peak. Victory was close at hand before, but now? Well, let me show you. Okay, so as long as I don't miss, I think, like, there's no way in hell this isn't one shot. However, I do miss, so I should kill myself. Charizard comes out, Rock Slide hits. There's no way in hell this doesn't kill now. Lapras comes out too. Power Whip connects. There's no way in hell to kill. Yep. Do I still have Sun up? Is my question. No. There's Venusaur. Now, I kind of think I want to save Rupert if I can. So this is gonna be, it really has to go down, but to set up light screen here, I think that's fine. And this is good because, yeah, Lily can get sacked here for sure. Because he's gonna use Sleep Powder next turn, right? Or he's gonna try to. So what I can do is bring in a Nepenthes, use Sleep Powder myself. Because this thing isn't... Okay, there we go. Sleep Powder. Nice try, dickhead. I think it's when I set up that he wants to Sleep Powder me. And Return comes out. I don't know if this kills, but it doesn't matter that much. And he'll probably try again, or not. Wants to kill me, fair enough. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, alright. I have Light Clay. Of course it's still up. Okay, then that's down. Good, good, good. We might... I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but it's looking pretty good right now. We'll just Leaf Blade here. This will do a lot. Yeah, pretty good. Good damage, good damage. I feel like if there's ever a time to use Dandy, it's right now. Get the stun up. Eat a Blaze. That's fine. Oh my god. Fucking Light Clay is insane. Another Blaze is coming out, so I'm fine to just switch into Plumeria here. I don't know if he uses... Does he use a Full Restore? Yeah, he would Full Restore here. Absolutely. So, uh-oh. My spaghetti. It's falling out of my pocket. This is a problem now. We're in Problem Town. Problem Town population, me specifically. Alright, it's down to Rupert. I could try Flinch Hacks, but I kind of just want to hit the fucker really hard. So I'm going to hit the fucker really hard. Leech Seed kills here, I believe. I hope. God, Leech Seed is just... It's been so good this whole run. I think I've secured more kills with Leech Seed than I have anything else. That's so much health. And then last is Blastoise. I think it all comes down to if Power Whip connects. It does. Okay. That's got to be curtains, right? Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes! We did it! That's Johto finished. Nice. Okay. I did it. I beat the game. As Red leaves without a word nor a trace of where he went, I'm left alone atop Mount Silver with no mountains left to climb, so to speak, as the Johto Mono Grass Challenge is finally complete. While the journey was very slow and sometimes seemingly unsurmountable, I had a lot of fun with this game. I have to give honourable mention to Rubert, however. While Tangela in Gen 1 was the support that enabled the rest of the team to hit hard, with Tangrowth it was very much the opposite, being the muscle that the team supported to bring them to victory. And although going forward I can no longer use these vines to bind my team, we can at least take some comfort in knowing that I never have to have a run-in with stupid Charizard, baby! Never have to worry about that guy ever again! Woo! Woo! Hi, thank you again for watching this far. I wanted to quickly talk about my mental state during the making of this video. I have ADHD. I made part 1 in a hyperfixation frenzy within a month, which in hindsight is fucking insane. But that wore off, and I burnt myself out while making this one. My best advice for anyone else who has struggled to commit to hobbies in a similar way is, create a schedule for when you do it. Before that, I'd feel guilty for doing anything else with my free time, but after, I was able to chip away at this with a healthy mind and free of guilt. It worked for me, so I hope it works for you too. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in Hoenn.